Alright, hello guys, welcome to another stream. Today I'm going to be working on my crashed Aquila lander, which I've mostly done now. But what we're going to do is we're going to do some oil washes on the last couple of pieces. And just try and get them finished really, and then I can move on to something else. So yeah, I think this is the first time I've done some painting on stream for a while. So yeah, we'll give it a shot, see how we get on. I have a feeling it's going to be a quiet stream today. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Let's give it a go anyway. As long as we can achieve something, that's the main thing. That is what I always say. So, I've got a mixture, an oil wash mixture that I've kind of conjured up myself with a little bit of oil paint and some, what do you call it, mineral spirits. So what I'm going to do is basically just give the model a coat of this, and I'm going to let it kind of semi-dry, and then I'm going to buff it off with some Q-tips basically. I'm nearly done with this miniature, which is good, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out, to be fair. It's all just kind of fallen into place for this one, which has been nice. It's also kind of nice to challenge myself and paint something a little bit different. And there's only one piece of gold on this. Aside from that, it's all blue and silver. Still got loads more to do for this table, obviously, because this is just one of the many sort of focal points that's going to be on the table. This is a 6 foot by 4 foot table it's going to be, so it's pretty big. And obviously there's going to be lots of areas where there's sort of special little details. So far these are just going to be the ones that are out in the ash wastes. But when we finally get round to it, we are building a wall for the Hive City. So that in itself is going to have lots and lots of detail. Alex! Hello from Denmark! Not that I mind, but some focusing on the camera. Is it zooming in and out, or is it just a little bit off? Because it has a tendency to play up. I still haven't got the new camera yet, Alex. I still need to do a bit of research before that. But are you telling me you'd like me to adjust the camera a little bit? Because I can always try and push it down a little bit, see if it picks up anymore. But as I mentioned, it is quite an old camera. But if you would like me to do that, let me know, and I'll just stand up and I'll adjust it a little bit. We're just doing a bit of an oil wash at the moment for this lander. I got 3 pieces finished today, which is really good. I've already put a few hours in today, to be fair, so this will be like, I don't know, my 5th or 6th hour, I think, working on these miniatures. What I do with these washes is try not to leave it on too long, because I find if you leave it on too long it can stain a little bit, and I don't know how that works particularly. I'm not really an expert when it comes to using oil washes, but yeah, I try not to let it dry too much, because then when I'm buffing it off I find that there's areas where it really sticks and it doesn't come off. Chris, what's the rectangle on your face? Oh, I see. Do you know what? That's what you're on about, Alex. No, the white bars. Ah, thank you. Let me just get rid of that for you guys. Is that better? Is that better? There we go. Done. Done. That was, I think that's the first time I've done that. Usually when I set up the streams, that's the first thing to go. Because it's the, oh, that's why I was getting confused, Alex. Because it's like a built-in thing for the camera. So when I set it up to stream, it usually comes up with those sort of white focusing bars or blocks or whatever they are. And because I see them so much, for some reason today I just forgot they were there. So that's why I was confused. Hopefully that's a bit better for you guys now. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good this evening. We are going to try and get this lander finished so we can move on to something else. Because obviously we've got loads and loads of things to tackle with this build. You know, we've got to start sticking it all to the MDF, we've got to undercoat the bridge and paint the bridge, we've got to do all the dunes and everything, and sort of the scrap and waste that you'd find in the ash wastes. There we go, guys. Well, I have sorted it. I have sorted it. It's good to see you this evening, Chris. Haven't seen you for a while. Nice to have you back on stream. How have we all been? I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I have a feeling that this evening it's going to be quite quiet. But we'll see how it goes. The main thing is just getting stuff done, really. So if we could get these two pieces done this evening, that would be fantastic. Because it means when I start my next hobby session, I can start something fresh. Do you know what I have noticed today, actually? I had a bit of a revelation today, which is a pain in the ass, is usually when I'm working on my own, I don't work with my glasses on. And I've been finding that when I spend quite a few hours on these miniatures, painting them up and building them and converting them, I get a headache without my glasses. So I think from here on out, I'm just going to have to keep working with my glasses on. Because I wasn't understanding why every time I'd be sort of hobbying and stuff, I'd end up with a massive headache. But yeah, it turns out it's the glasses. I've got to keep my glasses on. I can't see anything. Ah, the white balance. That's what it is it, Alex? The white balance. Yeah, I'm just so used to seeing those white squares on the screen that I didn't even notice this stream. But hopefully you guys are liking the new angle we've got going on here now. Oh, excuse me. My phone going off in the middle of the stream. Probably not what you need. Okay, cool. So, basically, as I was saying, I just mostly coat this quite quickly. And then before it goes bone dry, I will buff it off now with some clean mineral spirit. Chris, well, I'm almost back on my feet. That's good to hear, Chris. Tyrannid attacked me. Got strong 7 in my little toe by an Asian wasp. It hid in my shoe. It hid in your. Do you know what, Chris? That's kind of interesting because that's happened to me before as well. Quite a few years ago now, I remember putting on my trainers and I felt this sharp pain in my toe, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it turns out there was a wasp in my shoe, and it was winter as well. And I was thinking, why is there wasps about in winter? But yeah, so it's a similar story there. I also had to go to hospital for mine because it got infected, which wasn't very nice. Also spilling mineral spirits everywhere this evening. Well, it's good to hear you're nearly back up on your feet, Chris. That's why we don't like Xenos, see? Especially Tyrannid players. And they're giant bugs. Right, so we'll take some of this oil off now. This is one of the quicker parts of the painting. Well, one of the bigger parts of the painting section, basically. It's also one of the most satisfying because it leaves a really nice effect, oil washes. And you can also make them yourself as well. You can always just go out and buy a tube of oil paint and just dilute it with mineral spirits and give it a bash yourself. You don't always need to buy sort of pre-mixed oil washes and stuff. You can just do it yourself. Alex, I have the same problem with leather shoes. I wake up from a night out with them on too and I have a headache. It must be the shoes, Alex. I don't think it's got anything to do with the insects, has it? It's just the shoes. You might need a new pair if you keep waking up with a headache. Chris, I use oil wash to get grimdarker feel, but I also don't let it sit too long. Exactly, Chris. One of the things that I guess I've kind of come to learn about oil washes is some people let them dry. I've definitely heard some tutorials where people say let it dry and then wipe it off. But I feel like every time I let it dry properly, it leaves marks that I can't actually get off. So I tend to work quite quickly with it and manipulate it and sort of smudge it in while it's still wet. And it leaves me with quite a nice effect. The thing is, it doesn't have to be perfect either, because once I've applied these washes and they've dried, I also go at it with the liquid pigment as well. So I'll apply that to some of the recesses just to make it look like it's been sat out in the ash wastes for ages. Okay, but I do tend to go through cotton buds quite a lot, or Q-tips quite quickly. So it's not particularly economical when it comes to Q-tips, but it does leave a really good effect. A tube and thin them. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Chris, is I've just got Winsor and Newton. I don't think I have it to hand, actually, because I've already mixed it. But yeah, I just use a Winsor and Newton black, and then mix it down with mineral spirits. And then just, yeah, blast it with a bit of wash. Let it kind of semi-dry, and then take it off again. But yeah, very nice effect, especially good on scenery as well. Yes, you can reactivate the wash, but indeed it will stay darker. Yeah, I find that in some areas you can really see where it's kind of stuck in there. Sometimes it looks really good, but I have had a few sort of experiments go awry where you can just kind of see where the oil has stained it too much. But yeah, with this kind of application, again, I don't know whether the old camera is going to pick this up, but it leaves quite a nice effect. It just darkens it down and makes it look a bit grimy. Yeah, I got my umbers as well, Chris. I got a couple of umbers I use for kind of like the rust stains and the rust drips. Yeah, really useful. Really useful. The one thing I kick myself a little bit for is when I sort of started expanding my arsenal of paints, I used, when I moved on to sort of liquid pigments, I went a bit heavy with them when I started painting the floor for the throne room. So I kind of thought like, oh, I could just use it straight out of the pot and splash it on there and it'd be fine. And I think it was a little bit overkill. So recently I've been kind of knocking back some of the liquid pigment with a dry brush of black, just to kind of like bring it in line a little bit more. So yeah, kind of learnt the hard way with that one. I think sometimes it's worth doing a little bit more research before you go ham. Okay, so I think that's already, see, that's how quickly it's done as well. Like, haven't been working on this for that long at all. We've been here a couple of minutes already. And it's pretty much ready to let dry, and then go back at it with, what do do I need? I need to add my washes to the sand and the earth, and then dry brush it, and it's done. But what I do need is my bigger piece now. So I'm just going to stand up and get that. And in fact, actually, what I need to do is not use oil washes for this one, because I haven't painted all my metallics. I didn't completely prepare for tonight's stream. I didn't. Usually I'm really well prepared. Not necessarily professional when it comes to setting it up, but usually I'm pretty prepared when I can speak properly. Right, so what we need is our really murky water that I was using earlier and I haven't changed, so lovely tone there. And we need our bolt gun, and we also need a brush. Let me just get these pieces that I need. So, this, the biggest part of the Aquila so far. Need that, and we need a decent brush. Where is my artist opus brush? Where did I put that brush? There we go. Cool. Right, so let's continue. Alright, basically with this one, so this is the last piece that I've got to work on now, the last piece that I've got to finish. Let me move that out of the way. Which is this part. The tail end of the lander. My favourite part as well. But we just need to pick out the metallics for this. So, let's go for it. Chris, Rust and Dirty Down Rust after. Dirty Down Rust is really cool. Really cool. It's one of my favourites. I've used it a lot with... before I started this project for Hobby House, I'd done a little kind of piece of scenery for the ash wastes. Kind of staying on theme here. And I painted it all with Dirty Down Rust. And just that on its own. Like, I didn't dry brush it or do anything else after. I just... like painted it brown and then painted Dirty Down Rust on it, and I was really happy with how that came out. Like, granted, it looks like ruins that have been there for millennia, but it does look really good. But what I want to do with this project is have a mixture, so we're going to have like pipes and stuff that are just covered in Dirty Down Rust, but we're also going to have like shipping containers, we're going to have the Aquila lander, and we're going to have other like pieces of scrap and rubbish and all sorts that doesn't look like it's been there for as long. Just because then it gives like a nice variation. You can imagine like stepping out into this wasteland and some things have been there for years and years and years, and other things have only recently crash landed. So I'm going to start with the engine. My only other thought with this was to like dry brush the engine at the back. Once I've applied this lead belcher, is to dry brush the engines with like a bit of Abaddon black, just to make it look like there is scorch marks and stuff from where it's been used. But we'll see. I've got to try not to get too carried away with the details, because if I do, then we're going to end up with a table that's just going to take ages. And this being like a first big sort of commission, I guess, we've got to kind of balance out the amount of details that we're going to put in it. So it's still going to have plenty of them, but just I can't be edge highlighting things that don't need to be edge highlighted. We're just trying to toe that balance of having a healthy amount of detail, but not diorama levels of detail. Even though it's extremely hard for me to hold off doing that. It is. I just get kind of carried away. Even with this, I put a few more decals on than I normally would. So that shows you that I've really got to fight off the inner demon that wants to make it really, really detailed. Also, for those of you who, I think Alex is already aware, but Chris, there is a link to the Discord in the description for this video. So if you're interested in joining the Discord, feel free. And the same goes to anyone else that might be watching. Feel free to join us on the Discord. We just kind of show what we're working on. Keeps you guys in the loop of when I'm streaming. So yeah, feel free to join the little club. And if I remember rightly, the other engine that I've painted for this lander required about 2 coats. So I'm probably going to have to go over this twice. Otherwise the blue tends to peek through a little bit. Important, the gate needs to open and close. It does, Chris, it does. Big Brain wanted that to happen, so it is going to happen. He is well aware, though, that it is it's a little bit further down the line, but it's going to happen. And it also gives me some time to work out the logistics behind doing it, because it is going to require a bit of logistics. But I think it can be done. I think it can be done. We're going to have a gate for this project as well, but it's not going to be as crazy as the one we have for the throne room. In fact, what I'm thinking of for this one being the sort of entrance, well, not the main entrance to a hive, but just like an entrance to the hive, is I think I'm going to use some Zone Mortalis gates. And I think what I'm going to do is double stack them. Because I've seen people do it on Instagram, like Zone Mortalis builds, and they look really good. The only thing that kind of concerns me slightly is they're not too big, so the gates aren't too wide. Like you couldn't get a huge tank through them, so it does make me wonder whether I should lean towards it or maybe try and find some other way to make a gate. Even if it involves like using card and cutting card, I just worry that maybe a tank should be able to fit through it. But hey, I'll have a think about that. Big Brain, hello, how are we doing? Thy Orange Banana, hello Nihilus, hello guys, how are we doing? You both joined at the same time. We're painting an Aquila lander today. I think at least Big Brain was here the other day when I was working on this, but we're basically just trying to wrap it up now. I'm trying to add all the metallics to this section here, the biggest section. We've already done an oil wash on one of the wings. So yeah, we're getting there, and there's 3 pieces behind me which are actually finished. So things are moving pretty quickly, which is nice. How are we all doing this evening? Finally managed to make a live. I did. I've also, Thy Orange Banana, managed to make a Discord. I was just talking about this before you guys joined. Big Brain is already part of it, but if you fancy joining us, Thy Orange Banana, there is a link in the description to this video, so feel free to head over. We just share pictures of our work and stuff, so we're always welcome. You're always welcome, basically. We're always welcome. Thy Orange Banana, oh, I meant making your live. You've lost me a little bit there, Thy Orange Banana. Making my live. Do you mean, yeah, you might have to elaborate. I don't know whether that's my brain's just stopped working. Probably is. You can see some of my Elder. I think I had a little look at your, did I not stick a like on them the other day, Big Brain? I had a little look at what everyone's doing. It looks like you're all very busy. Paul Walker, you're What's that, Paul Walker? Your. Is there another grammatical error? The Orange Banana, I managed to come on... Oh, I see. I thought you were in fairly recently, the Orange Banana. I've definitely seen you about recently. I was considering you one of the regulars at this point. You've been on so many times. No, that's okay, the Orange Banana. Yeah, a lot of the time, when I'm streaming live, it's my brain trying to process everything. Like, usually when I'm doing this, I'm just doing this with music and everything. So me trying to multitask probably scrambles my brain. Oh, I see. I see. He was correcting your grammar, not my grammar. I'm absolutely awful when it comes to grammar. I always have been. Sometimes I struggle with my your and your. We love misspelling in this chat. We do. Big Brain, you've made a few in the past, haven't you? You've pointed it out yourself. But it's okay. We're not policing any of the spelling around here. There is nothing to be worried about. Okay. There's not too much silver to paint on this, to be fair. I think it's two fairly large sections. We just got to do this kind of engine, and then we're going to do this little compartment where you've got all the gribblies and stuff. And then we can just let it dry and give it a coat of Nuln Oil. I'm not sure whether it's like necessary for me to give it a coat of Nuln Oil, because I always give it a coat of oil wash, but I just like to do it anyway, just to kind of darken it down a little bit. Guess my name is no longer green. I know, Big Brain. I did notice that, but I wasn't going to be I wasn't going to point that out straight away. Surely you need to remedy that, don't you, Big Brain? Back in the club. You want back in. Do you know what? Talking about members, actually, YouTube hasn't really been informing me about who joins as members. Like, I check on YouTube Studio, and obviously it tells me there, but it doesn't tell me when someone new becomes if it's not on live. Because I've got one chap on there who I need to talk to because he joined at a high level, and obviously I need to speak to him about naming a custody. So, be good if YouTube told me. Chris, I am Belgium Waffle, so excuse me. What? Rover Mars Rover, what up, my dudes? Hello, Rover. How are we doing? We haven't seen you for a little while. Hey, Chris. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much. It's lovely to have some green names. And it's always appreciated. It is appreciated. It helps me put funds back into the project, basically. And granted, I know today we are not working on the Golden Throne, we are working on a side project, but the time will come when we are back working on the Golden Throne. One of the good things about working on something else for a little bit is it's definitely given me some ideas, because I know in the past, we've been talking about some of the things that we're going to do within the throne room, and having this time has enabled me to kind of look at it with a fresh set of eyes. So I've got some pretty good ideas. You can see I'm trying not to be too fussy about this paint job. Not that I'm slopping it all over the place, but the thing is, like, when I'm painting something for myself, I tend to be very, very meticulous about it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm the world's best painter, because I certainly am not the world's best painter. But when I'm painting things for myself, I tend to get just very particular about it. But, you know, obviously when we're doing this, we don't have all the time in the world to be particular about it. What have you got, Big Brain? I've already got all the benefits of being a member. Well, Big Brain, that's not very sportsmanlike, is it? Tut tut, naughty. Alright, let's keep this going. I think I'm actually going to do that. I think that once I have painted this section and washed it, I am going to give it a dry brush with the Abaddon Black. Just because I feel like it'd look better with some kind of like soot on the end of it than without, basically. So I think we're going to do that for this piece. I can't believe it's taken me so long to paint one of these, because I've had this model in my collection for probably the best part of 5 years. And I think I talked about this last stream, but one of the problems that I've always had is kind of hoarding models and waiting for the right moment to kind of paint them. And I don't think that's a good way of hobbying, if that makes sense. Now, like, I know I can't tell anyone, or I'm not trying to tell anyone how to engage with their hobby, but I have found that if you do just kind of hold on to things and wait and wait and wait, you're never going to paint them because there'll never be a right moment. So with this one, I've just gone like, I'm going to do it. Why not? Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And worst comes to worst, I've got another one of these, so if I really did mess it up, I could just paint another one. But so far, it's come out pretty good. So you are a gold member. He's actually a grey member at the moment, Alex. Alright. I think there's a little bit more of that. It's just going to make things a hell of a lot easier when I tie this all in. So, some of you probably seen the other day, I was kind of roughly laying out where the bridge is going to be, and then we've got this kind of ruined chapel, which I was going to say is right next to me, but it's not. We've got some of the bridge arches next to me. But yeah, so kind of roughly mapped it out, and then when I go to add some details, I can just kind of like stick them on. I'll cover them over with tape, or just kind of, you know, anything to keep the paint off them, and then I can go around and spray like all the desert and stuff like that. It's just going to make things a lot easier than leaning over the board the whole time. I hope you're not suggesting I look like Austin Powers there, Alex. That would be very naughty. Definitely don't have the outfit for it either. Maybe I need to start wearing some more funky outfits on stream. Big Brain, maybe I will start trying to paint some checkers. You should give it a shot, Big Brain. Your painting skills looked impressive on the Discord. You're doing a damn good job. I'm sure the Harlequin is going to look really good. In fact, I am very much looking forward to it. Obviously, you got no rush with it either, because we still got loads to paint yet. So don't feel the need to rush it. For those of you who don't know, Big Brain is painting up a Harlequin for the Golden Throne project. So he's painting all the checkers and all the patterns, which I really don't want to paint. Okay, so I'm going to let that section dry and just paint this one, I guess. And then we can move forward again. I've looked at this little compartment in here. It's got loads of wires and cables and stuff. And it does make me think to myself, like, oh, do these need a coat or something, do you reckon? Do you reckon there needs to be like 4 different coloured wires? Nah, probably not. Even though it would look sick. I think we'll just have to give it lead belcher for now. Chris, crap, now I'm afraid to put mine on Discord. You should not be afraid to put any of your paint jobs on Discord, Chris, if that's what you're referring to, because I've seen your painting as well, and your painting is also really good. So, do not worry about that. The Discord is definitely not, like, it's not about bragging. It's just everyone showing what they're working on. There's no competition, there's no judgment. It's just, like, enjoying the hobby, basically. So don't ever feel any pressure. Also, it's up to you guys if you want to share. If you don't feel comfortable sharing what you're working on, there's absolutely no obligation to do so. It's entirely up to you guys. It's mainly just a spot that we can all stay in contact when I'm not live streaming, basically. Because like I've said, I know that a bunch of you don't actually use Instagram and don't use social media, so yeah, it's just a good way for us to stay connected, basically. Is the camera frozen? I hope not. Are we good? Should be doing alright, even though I started out with the 2 boxes. Forgot to take them off the camera. Again, not very professional, but you know, we are all well aware that these streams are not professional streams. These streams are so I can get stuff done and chat to you guys. Big Brain, got some new paints. What did you get, Big Brain? What are you going for in terms of colour scheme? Are you going to give them a bunch of bright colours? Some pinks and some purples. You guys are going to see me shrimp pose. I've always had this tendency when I paint up close, like I just kind of shrimp my head into it. Probably not good for my posture, but means I get all the details. No good on this side? Oh, I think it might be your end then, Chris, potentially. One thing I am going to do, right? One thing I cannot help myself with, because I can see it clearly, is on this little power source, there is an Aquila. And I don't have the heart to just paint it lead belcher and let it blend in. So I think, well, even though I will do for the time being, I think I'm going to pick it out with some gold. I will allow myself that one detail, alright? I will allow myself that one detail. Big Brain, I'm going for a scheme matching my Craft World scheme. That's clever. You're going to sneak your scheme in there. Sneak it into the diorama. It's a good way of doing it, Big Brain. I feel like you've thought this out. I feel like you probably planned your ploy for the gate as well. Okay. Watch me tuck my head right in. I go through the paint for this one. I've noticed it's used quite a bit of paint. More than I was expecting. I was too lazy today to change my water. So I'm using water from earlier, which is like a horrible greeny off-white. Does the trick though, it's alright. I'll use the water again. If I'm painting and I'm not using metallic earlier in the day, I'll reuse the water because I find it doesn't really make too much of a difference. But if it's got metallic in it and I'm trying to paint something that's not metallic, I will replace it. Because otherwise I can just see all the little glistening metallic bits. Now I've just got to be a little bit careful not to slop any metallic on the top. So I've got to crack out the steady hand. On the scale of things to do on stream, I feel like it's easier to talk and apply transfers than it is to talk and paint. I feel like because painting involves a bit more concentration, it's harder to stay focused on both. Now, we're not doing too badly this stream. Could be worse. Touch wood. Okay, yeah. Anyone else working on anything interesting this evening? Anyone doing any painting of their own? Throughout these live streams you are going to see a variety of different terrain pieces being painted. I think once we've done this we'll probably go back to the shipping containers that we painted the other day, or like partially done. And then I'm going to have to start airbrushing some walls. I need some Zone Mortalis sections and I need some Sector Imperialis walls for my giant hive wall. I feel like with this project we're kind of saving the best till last, because my idea is to kind of work on the ash waste sections of this build first, just to kind of get them out the way, because they are going to be the elements of the build that don't require as much attention. So I'm going to get them out the way first, and then when they are done we're going to start building the hive wall, which is going to be pretty tall. Rover Mars Rover, I'm doing the final corrections on my PhD thesis. Then I'm cracking out the paints for my beloved custom SM chapter. Nice. I don't envy the studying of doing the thesis, not at all. But that's very cool. What's your custom chapter called, Rover? And what colour are they, more importantly? I've got a whole chapter's worth of Space Marines just waiting to be painted. We'll see if they ever end up being painted. I also got some custom transfers made, because I was going with a chapter called the Gorgons. I ended up looking through a list of all the Space Marine chapters, and I just wanted to choose a chapter that looked cool. So I chose the Gorgons because they got green armor. They got green armor with red trim, and then they got a black helmet on them. And yeah, I got some custom transfers made by Impatient Tabletop. Not a sponsor. I just like the fact that they can make me custom transfers. So yeah, I've got all that stuff and all these Marines just waiting to be painted. But obviously, I got lots to do. I got 2 projects now, so I'm not going to start painting like 100 Space Marines anytime soon. Chris, looking at Zorp Sector Gothica new 3D scenery prints, they're looking cool. I've briefly seen them, Chris, and they do look very cool. At the moment, when it comes to scenery, I've got all I need for this build, but maybe it might be something further down the line, because they do look very cool. Rover Mars Rover, they are Iron Crows, an Iron Hands Primaris chapter heavily involved with the Mechanicus, so black iron and Mars red. That does sound cool, Rover. That does sound very cool. Are you going to give them the sort of Iron Hands bits as well, like really mechanical looking? Lots of limbs replaced for hardware, basically. Yeah, apologies if I'm a little bit quieter on this stream, because I am just doing a little bit of a concentrate. Yeah, see, Chris agrees, they do sound very cool, Rover. Sometimes, now just sometimes, I do wonder how many miniatures I would have painted if I wasn't always doing scenery projects and big scenery projects. But yeah, I guess we'll just never know. Big Brain, I like my black and cream craft world. God, that's a mouthful. Black and cream craft world. That's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times. Isn't there a similar scheme as well, like an old school scheme that's black and cream for Eldar? I know absolutely nothing about like the craft worlds for Eldar, but I remember like some of the early White Dwarves, well not early, they're probably not the early ones, but you know, like back in 2000s I guess, and I'm pretty sure I've seen like a craft world that have black armour and kind of like a cream helmet, unless I'm misremembering, but very cool colours they are. The scheme is Ulthwaite inspired. Ah, I see. So you've kind of done your own thing with it then, Big Brain. It's good to do that though. It's really cool to kind of make it your own. I've always found it hard to, you know, when I have painted Space Marines, I've always found it hard to stick to like a specific chapter. I've always wanted to kind of make it my own. There's definitely a few miniatures in my collection that are custom schemes that I've just come up with. I feel like that's one of the things that's always inviting about Warhammer and sort of tabletop hobby is you just want to make things your own. You want to build it and paint it your own way. There's not too many miniatures either that I've sort of built that are built to the instructions specifications. A lot of the time I'll change arms and convert weapons and stuff like that. Monkey Boy, just wanted to say thank you for sharing your amazing work and vision. Forgive me if you have already answered this, but what is the plan when it's finished? That's okay, Monkey Boy. I've had that question quite a few times, but it's not a problem at all. So basically, the kind of short-term plan is once it's done, there's going to be some battle reports hosted on it, just so you guys out there who are interested in the gaming aspect of it get to, you know, see it used and played on. And then when that's done, I think we're just going to kind of like set it up as a diorama. What I would like to do is put it somewhere that at least some of you can come and see. So I'm not sure the logistics behind that yet, but I would like to kind of have it on display for a little bit. Just because for those of you that have been following, some of you for a really long time now, I feel like, you know, it would be nice for you to see it with your eyes, basically. Because also all the videos that I've done, it doesn't really do it justice, and I don't mean that in like a braggy way, like, ooh, it looks way better in real life. I mean, in terms of like scale, it's much bigger when you see it in person. It always tends to look a little bit small on YouTube, I find. But yeah, so basically that's kind of the short-term plan. We're also doing this project as kind of a side project for Hobby House. I'm working on a gaming board, a 6-foot by 4-foot gaming board for them. So, you know, kind of working on that and working on the throne and kind of splitting my time. But yeah, that's kind of the long and short of it, to be fair, Monkey Boy. Chris, Big Brain, seen the pics in Discord, they're nice. Is that sorry Chris, my brain stopped. I was trying to think there. Yeah, if you're referring to Big Brain's Eldar, they are very cool. And I think Frag Eye has put some images of his Valkyrie up as well, which are very impressive. It's nice to have some inspiring work to look at. Okay, we're getting there. The only thing I'm finding with this little compartment here is there's lots of little holes. So I've got to kind of ram the brush in there to make sure everything gets a good coat of lead belcher. I think it's going to look really cool once we get the pigments in here as well, the liquid pigments. One of the things I'm really enjoying about them is when I thin them down with a bit of mineral spirit, they tend to just run into all the cracks. I'll also dab off with one of these little Q-tips where it spills a little bit. And yeah, it looks really good. It just looks like dust has got right into the cracks of everything and deposited itself there, basically. And when you combine that with the oil washes and then a few picked out details here and there, it looks really good. If I do say so myself. No worries, Monkey Boy. Welcome to the streams. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these live streams that we've been hosting before. Back when we first started, there was a load of questions about the Golden Throne. Now not so much, which is fine. Okay. Chris, I put some pics in there too. I will have a look, Chris. I will have a good look after the stream. I need the inspiration to keep me going. I find that sometimes it's kind of... it gets you in the mood to paint. Especially looking at those Titans as well, Chris. The other day. Because when we get round to it and we finally put a Titan in the throne room, or we put a Warhound in there, I want a good scheme for it. something that a few of you might also like is I've been looking at schemes for Lucifer Blacks. So I've been trying to figure out how I can kit bash some, because I don't think I want to 3D print them. I feel like I could make quite a convincing kit bash out of a few different kits, like Kazakins. But yeah, I haven't like nailed it yet. I think Kazakins is going to be the base, and I just need like a kind of head option. So I was thinking of using some of the, because I've seen it done before, is some of the full face Drakari helmets. I don't know which kit it is they're in though, but they've got like the visor all over the face, and I feel like that would look quite cool. But we still need to settle on an idea, basically. Luke Thompson, evening all. Good evening, Luke. How are we doing? Welcome to another stream. We are just trying to finish off this Aquila this evening. Might not actually get there, but it's nearly done. I've been pulling out all the stops with this one to get it done, because I feel like it's going to be one of the focal points of the board that we're building for Hobby House. So, yeah, just been trying to get it done, so we can move on to some other bits. It's also been a little bit too warm to do any undercoating, because one of my big jobs that I have to do is undercoat the bridge and undercoat this little kind of temple shrine thing that's going to be on the gaming board. But the weather's not playing ball still. It's still incredibly warm. Blood for the Blood God. Hello, all you wonderful nerds. Hello, Blood for the Blood God. How are you? How are you? God, I'm struggling with my words again, as always. How are you doing this evening? I feel like at some point I should just have a compilation of every time I mess up a word on live stream. Probably be like a 20-minute a 20-minute combination. So even when I'm trying to get my words out now, a 20-minute compilation of me just messing up sentences. I feel like it happens so often. If anything, I feel like it happens more now than it did when I started streaming again. It's looking very good so far. Thank you very much, that orange banana. I'm hoping this board is going to look pretty damn good. I need it to as well, because it's going to be on display in Hobby House and people are actually going to be gaming on it, so I need it to look the part and be the part. But we got off to a pretty good start, so I'm confident in the direction that it's heading. Let's paint this bit. Obviously, one of the elements of it that's going to take up a bit more time than others is our hive wall and our zone mortalis sections, because there's going to be quite a few of them. So I am going to need to come up with a sort of scheme, which I think is, well, it's definitely going to involve the airbrush, basically. So we're going to crack that out at some stage. Luke Thompson, is this one going to Hobby House? It is, Luke Thompson. It is. So we have to build a 6x4 foot table, and we're doing Hive meets the Ash Waste. So at the moment I'm working on the Ash Waste element of the board. So there's going to be like lots of ruins, ruined pipes. There's going to be habs for Ash Waste nomads. There's a huge bridge. There's like a kind of ruined chapel dome thing. Shipping containers, anything you can imagine finding out in the wastes, in various degrees of decay. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and it's going to be, I can't give you an exact date, but basically when it's done, it's going to be in Hobby House, and we're going to do like an event for it. So anyone who can make it can come down to Hobby House, and we're going to talk about it, talk about the build, anything else Warhammer related, and then some of you guys can game on it. It's going to be there as a table that you can hire and play on. So if you've ever wanted to play on a kind of Ash Waste thematic board, this will be the one for you. Big Brain, you mess up a lot. It would take a while to make. It would, Big Brain. I'm not going to argue with you on that point. It definitely would. It's the old brain not firing up. It's the end of the day and it's like hanging on by a thread. I get there eventually though. I feel like I managed to get my sentence out at the end. Just after a few stop starts, like a cold diesel engine. Anyway, you guys like the entertainment. I bet you love seeing me stutter. I bet you love it. We all know you guys are just here for the builds. Definitely does take a few coats to make sure this lead belcher is opaque. Oh, really? Did you see that? I just put my thumb on the section that I've painted. That checks out. 100% checks out. Maybe it really will be the crash out stream if I keep doing that. If I keep stuttering and I keep doing that, you will actually see the crash out stream. It's a quiet little crash out stream this evening. I wonder if it's because I changed my thumbnails. I feel like with YouTube it's very roll of the dice as to how your stuff gets promoted when it comes to like your thumbnail. Obviously that's probably because the thumbnail is like the main part people look at. So it's anyone's guess whether you choose a good thumbnail or not. Frag-Eye! Hello Frag-Eye, welcome to the stream. How are you doing, buddy? How are you doing? We are just trying to finish off this Aquila lander, this crashed Aquila lander. We started off with an oil wash, and now just trying to pick out these metallics, and then I'll crack out the Nuln Oil. But we're getting there. We are getting there, and I'm quite happy with it. Big Brain, I am not taking... I am painting, not taking that will be noticed. What, Big Brain? You're doing the same thing as me. You're doing the words thing. I am painting, not taking that will be noticed. You're doing the same thing as me, Big Brain. I think you're copying my style. You're copying my word salad. Frag-Eye, very sleepy, had to bring the toddler number 1 to bed. Frag-Eye's hanging on by a thread as well. Maybe Frag-Eye will follow suit and start coming up with some word salad too. Luke Thompson, what are you working on? Me, Luke? I'm working on this lander. I'll show you guys. I'll try and show you guys a finished bit because which will fall over on stream. See how well this comes up. I am actually going to put some pictures on our Discord later So I've got some pretty good pictures actually. And I'm very happy with how this has turned out. We've still got to put some pigment powder on the bottom. But yeah, once that's done, it's done, and it's ready to go on the table. So we're essentially just trying to finish it off, Luke. I see what you mean, Big Brain, because you're concentrating on painting. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to participate in the chat all the time. You can sit here and just listen to me waffle, basically. Sit here and listen to me talk absolute rubbish. Die orange banana. Ooh. Yeah, so I will I'll put some pictures that I took earlier on Discord. And hopefully by the end of the week, I'm hoping this bit will be done. And then I can use the weekend to glue the bridge down and undercoat the bridge and basically work on some of the bigger aspects of the table. Because obviously with the live streams, it's easier for me to work on detailed parts when it comes to like constructing stuff. It's hard to do on live stream, so I don't, basically. Also, you guys want like footage for the videos, don't you? Because I know some of you like watching the videos. Some of you, most of you prefer watching the videos, because our live stream has 9 people. So I think that speaks for itself. Alright, so let me just give this the once over. So I think there's just 1 or 2 more areas that need this. Fragai, I'm painting my skeleton on the base of the Valk. The guy needs a name. I did like that skeleton, Fragai. Did you kit bash him? What is the skeleton from? I was meant to ask on Discord, but I forgot. He does need a name. Why don't we call him Big Brain? Why don't we call him Big Brain? We've got a few, we got the Big Brain Memorial Gate behind me. And I can call it the Memorial Gate because it's the year 40,000, so I think we're all gone at that stage. That's why it's the Memorial Gate. Just get these end bits. I noticed after painting most of this that it has some bolts on it, and having the lead belcher handy, I'm like, oh, should I dot in the bolts? But no, we know that would be a can of worms, because then they would need a Nuln Oil wash just to give them a bit of depth, and no, we're not doing that. We're not getting sucked into it. We're not getting sucked into adding more details. Also, one of the factors that's going to speed this build up is the fact that, because it is the ash waste, there's going to be lots of sand and lots of dust. So, you know, it's not going to require the same amount of painting as the throne is. Call him Timothy. Yeah, why not? That's a good one, Fragai. Timothy. Fragai, it's partly Gene Stealer Oldhammer skeleton and a skull. Ah, I see. He does look really cool. He does. It's funny because it makes me think that Games Workshop should release a kit with just like casualties and skeletons and corpses and stuff. I feel like that would go down really well. You know, if you had like a Necromunda box or something with just like little gribblies and casualties and stuff like that, and skeletons, I'd buy that. I'd buy a few of them. Alex, don't be harsh on yourself. I also watch you sometimes just to see someone do some greater work. Good hints just watching. Oh, thank you, Alex. That's very kind of you. Yeah, that is very kind of you. I feel like when I do these, though, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't always have like a plan for the whole stream, you know? It's a very, what do you say? It's like a very raw form of content creation, if you want to call it that. Because there's no script or anything, I'm just completely freestyling it. So I'm glad you guys enjoy it, you know. I know it might not be the most riveting content on the internet, but it's just nice to hang out and paint some Warhammer, basically. Chris, seen the pics, Hans Luger comes to mind. Luke Thompson, I swear they used to do a Battlefield Casualties kit. They did, Luke. They used to have one with some Space Marines in it, but they were the Firstborn ones. So I feel like they need to kind of update it, because they've done the Battlefield trophies. You've got the Skulls box and you've got the Battlefield trophies. Both are really, really cool. But, you know, like, why is there no skeletons? Why is it that every battlefield just has skulls? Is there someone who goes around and just decapitates everyone? You know, I'd like to have some skeletons that I could just put all around the place, you know? Chris, I printed Admic casualties. I mean, there is that, isn't there? I'd just like to find a good... I'd be happy to do that when it comes to casualties, like 3D print them off. I would just like to find some good files for skeletons and someone with a good printer, basically. Because obviously I don't have a 3D printer. But yeah, I'd be quite happy to use 3D prints for casualties and stuff like that. Completely. Thy Orange Banana, my friends were chatting about Total War Warhammer version. What does everyone think about it, or is it worth playing? Do you know what, Thy Orange Banana? It's funny because last stream we were talking about like video games and stuff for a little bit, and surprisingly, from my side of things, there's a lot of Warhammer games that I haven't played. So I haven't played any of the Total War games. I haven't played Dawn of War. I know, you're all surprised. I haven't played Dawn of War. What's the other one I didn't play? I can't remember the other one. I've played Fire Warrior, which is, you know, I do have some nostalgia when it comes to Fire Warrior, but it's not a good game, is it? You know, it's not a very good game. Played Hired Gun, played Space Marine 2, and I played Inquisitor Martyr. So I can't speak for Total War, basically, Thy Orange Banana, but the other guys might well know. Yeah, that's a good thing. When it comes out, I might try it. I'll probably ask you guys first to see if anyone gets it, and then, you know, you can recommend if it is any good. But I've seen like trailers and stuff for it, and it does look interesting. I watched a little featurette thing about Total War where it had the Cadians versus the Orcs, and it was just kind of showing the different units and how they play. So it did look interesting. Big Brain, Korn loves skulls. He does love skulls, Big Brain. But who loves the skeletons? Who loves the rest of the bones? Luke Thompson. Heresy, full stop. Heresy detected. You'll be kicked out of the live chat. Also, for you guys who have just joined us, I set up the Discord. So, the link on this live stream, underneath the description, you can click on that and you can go to the Discord if you want to join us and you want to share what you're working on. It is open to anyone. You don't have to be a member to join. So feel free to join. I think there's about 6 of us at the moment. But you guys who regularly tune in, you might benefit from it. Cornflakes. I've tried those, I think. Big Brain. I've only played Rogue Trader and Tabletop. Thy Orange Banana finds that amusing. Cool Look Plays. Hello, Cool Look Plays. Welcome to the live stream. We're painting a crashed Aquila lander at the moment and talking about video games. And there is some heresy. There's some chaos heresy. Yeah, cool. Alright, so I think we are pretty much done with the metallics now for this. which means... Oh no! We're not! We're not! We're not! Okay, god damn it! Because looking at... Where's that other piece? Why do I have to do that? This is one of the problems to picking out details, is you have to make sure you do it on every piece. So, where is that? Where's that wing section? God damn it. Basically on one of the pieces I picked out the cables, so I've got to do it on this one, otherwise it's not going to look right. So, apologies, you're going to see me paint more lead belcher. Hey! Fun, fun. How are you? I'm alright, cool look. I am just getting some painting done, moving projects forward. So I'm doing alright, thank you. How are you doing? How are things with you? Are you painting? Are you hobbying? Or are you just curious as to what this live stream is about? Although surprisingly, since we've been running these live streams, I don't think we've had anyone join who is, like, unaware of what Warhammer is. I think most people who've joined have some idea. I think, was it Jock is the only one who joins quite a lot, and he didn't have many miniatures, or he just started collecting miniatures. Cool look, just painting Thousand Suns. Awesome. Heresy, but awesome. I feel like Magnus done nothing wrong is a common meme for you, possibly. I do like me some Thousand Suns though. Don't tell anyone that. The Dusty Boys. I quite like them in Space Marine 2 as well. Some of the finishers. Wow, stuttering again. Some of the finishes for them were really good. But I like their colour scheme quite a lot. Cool look. Nah, he definitely did something wrong. He did. He definitely did something wrong. I feel like maybe we should have some evidence of him doing wrong in the throne room. Because, you know, we all know he done something wrong. He done the one thing he was told not to do. I mean, granted, the intentions were good, but if you're told not to do something, you probably shouldn't do it. Not to mention it had, like, a catastrophic effect. So, arguably, it made things worse. But in all seriousness, it does make me think, you know, when we come to build our webway gate, it makes me wonder whether I should have, like, some references, you know? I know there is a joke going around that I should have, like, ashes near the throne for Malkador, but I feel like it's too soon for that. Surely, we're all still mourning, aren't we? Rover, well, he definitely didn't do it right. No, he did not. By the way, did you build that behind you? I did, cool look. I did. We're not finished yet. This is my Golden Throne project. That a few of these streams I've actually been working on it, but we have a little bit of a a little bit of a distraction in the form of a side project for Hobby House. I'm building a gaming. God, do you know what? I'm just gonna walk off. I'm just gonna walk off and shut down the stream and be like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. We are making a gaming table for Hobby House, honestly. Honestly, one more mistake and I'm just tippling over the camera and I'm leaving. You'll never see me again. I'll shut down the Discord. Cool look, that's crazy. Thank you very much. You can, if you want to see more pictures, cool look, I have Instagram with the same handle. So feel free to check it out. There's also more videos on the channel as well, which kind of document the progress of it all. Big Brain, I think I a better brush to properly paint checkers. The one I own is too abused. you always do need a good brush, Big Brain. It is useful to have a good brush and to maintain brush cleanliness. I think you can get like paint purger and stuff for them though, if you really like your brush and you want to keep it a little bit longer. But yeah, I do recommend a good set of brushes. Which is like the perfect segue for me to say that I have an affiliate link with Artist Opus, who do really, really good brushes. And I was using their brushes before I became an affiliate, so that shows you how much I like them. I know, Frag, I don't know what's going on. I really do not know what's going on today. I am stuttering and tripping over my words. It's crazy. I have no clue why. I'm worried there's something wrong with me. I really am. It's like every time we run a stream, it just gets worse. Cool Look, I just bought more Thousand Suns. More to paint, Cool Look. Have you got many? Are you going for the traditional colour scheme as well? Or are you trying something else? Sorry guys, I'm going to be quiet for a second while I do the try hard part. Try and keep an even line around the bottom of these pipes. It's not particularly the end of the world if it overspills, but I'm just being a bit fussy today. Cool. Now I just got to do this grill, and then it really is it. 6 more! Now I'm making my own chapter. That's kind of like a running theme today with the stream, is talking about custom chapters and making miniatures your own. I wonder if there's more of us out there who like customizing and making things our own way than kind of painting up an established chapter. I feel like there's got to be more of us who just like to make it our own, surely. Chris, BRB, need a smoke and some coffee. That's fair enough, Chris. What time is it over there? Coffee? Bit late to have a coffee? You're going to be awake all night. Well, that being said, actually I'm a massive hypocrite. I am an absolutely massive hypocrite, because before I started up this evening's stream, I had a Monster energy drink, so I don't know why I'm slating Chris for having a coffee when I'm just full of energy drink. Big Brain, I am maintaining them to my ability. That's fair enough, Big Brain. They do, you know, they do get used with wear, don't they? They do kind of wear down. So, if you've had them for a while, it's going to happen. You are going to get a little bit battered. Well, I'm out of Red Bull. That's fair enough, Chris. Again, I don't know why I was really slating you, because I've just had an energy drink, so I got loads of caffeine in my system, and it's quite late here, so maybe I'll be up till 6 in the morning. Cool Look Plays, would you like to hear the name of the custom chapter? Why not, Cool Look Plays? Go for it. Tell us what you've called them. I can't believe I nearly forgot these details. The thing is, I spent time yesterday or the day before picking them out on one of the other pieces of this. And I feel like if I'd overlooked it now on stream and left it the way that it is, once it was stuck to the table, that would bug the hell out of me. Everyone get a good look at the gremlin pose. I'm going to be doing the proper shrimp / gremlin pose. The golden strikers, that is very fitting, cool look. Especially with the World Cup just gone, that is very fitting, I dig it. I dig it. I still got to get you guys to put forward any suggestions you have for this build. I'm waiting to hear some ideas. What do you want to see on the table? What do you want to see on the board in terms of like little details? Obviously we're not going whole hog with this in terms of like Golden Throne level details. But I do like me a bit of environmental storytelling. So if anyone's got any cool ideas for things that go on in the Ash Wastes, then do tell. One of the things that I'm set on at the moment is just making like little inhabited spaces. So one of the things that I thought of was this little piece of the crashed Aquila. Obviously you've got that kind of just void in there, and I don't know if you guys have, who are familiar with the kit, noticed that. But what I'm thinking is having like a little tarp that's maybe on a stick, and then having some like bits and bobs around there to show that maybe someone's living in it. I thought that could be quite interesting. Quacker, he painting. He is Quacker. He's also been mixing up his words quite badly this evening. He's been sharing his word salad with you all. For some reason I just can't speak. Every other sentence is butchered. But welcome to the stream, Quacker. It's nice to have you back. Cool look. They hunt through the warp for any ships that can be stolen and take them for themselves. That's pretty cool. It sounds like you've got a whole little... sorry. It sounds like you've got a bunch of lore for them as well. I like it when people kind of have a nice background for their custom miniatures. One of the things I do like from time to time is when you get posts on Instagram and people have kind of come up with a story in their head and like a background information about what they've painted. I do like reading that. Fraga, yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Fraga. I think it should look pretty good on the table, and it won't require sort of overkill of details because the tarps come with... some of the habs that I've got have like little tarps, so I'm thinking I can just use one of them, and then like barrels, oil drum... Well, that's the same thing. Barrels, oil drums. Barrels, the little petrol cans, and just other little bits and bobs. Quacker laughed my ass off. Fragite, so Nihilus, we need an official name, and then we need a common name for the settlement. Ooh, that is good. That is good, actually, Fragite. We do need a name for the area, so I'll give you guys a bit of background. For this build, it's not going to be a main entrance to the hive, so this is going to be one of the quieter sections of the hive, which is almost... unmanned and uninhabited by like the planetary defense forces. So it's going to be kind of mainly inhabited by scum and ash waste nomads. So we need a name that reflects that. It's also going to be run down. And then settlement. What are we going to call the settlement? I think we need to do a little bit more work on the settlement before we come up with a name for it. It might help us along. Too much paint water he had to drink. It went to his brain. So he babbles from time to time. It's happening, Chris. And just today it's happened way more than any other stream. I have just, like, babbled my way through it. So, yeah. Don't know what's happening. Let's hope it doesn't become a regular thing. Or each stream is going to be awful. It's just going to be me, like, Do you ever see that meme with the kid who can't get his sentence out and he's like, did you ever say that, did you ever think that, did you know that that's me? That's going to be me. Cool Look, or they would be called Golden Scavengers. Both of those names sound cool, Cool Look. Sound cool, Cool Look. This writes itself. They both sound good. You could use either of those names. Alex, or perhaps some netting on tubes and pistons from the ship for the back of the cockpit. That could be cool as well, Alex. Again, what I'm trying not to do is I'm trying to draw the line on how crazy I go with the details. So the reason behind using the plastic tarps from the hab is it's just easier for me to go glue, done. But I like your thinking. I think that's a lot more thematic, using like pistons and parts of the aircraft. Sector 8 Sector 0815 #5. I think Franco, you've lost me on that one. What is that a reference to? Maybe we should call it the Stuttering Settlement, where everyone who lives there stutters. Quacker, go crazy with the details. No, Quacker, because we have a time frame. I can't be like, hey, Hobby House, I'll have this table ready for you in like 4 years. How does that sound? Because my regulars on live stream want me to go crazy with the details. We can't do it. Quack, I dare you. No, Quacker, not this time. When we work back on the throne, we are going to go crazy with the details. I've got some really good ideas for our sort of little expansions for the throne room. So obviously our true emperor is going to be... It's not going to be massive, obviously, but it's going to be like a 4x4 tile section. That's going to have a lot of details. And at some stage, there's going to be the webway pull, but I haven't really considered that just yet. Cool, look, honestly, my chapter would match this settlement you're making. It probably would, especially if... Oh no, because yeah, yours is a different colour scheme. My brain went straight to, oh, that could be Thousand Suns colour scheme. They would probably look the part in the Golden Throne, Cool Lurk, but also it would be absolute heresy to let them in, so I'm afraid they're not allowed in. Let's see if someone gets it. Yeah, I think you guys are going to have to let me in on that one. Or Fraga, you're going to have to let me in on it if no one gets it. Because that went right over my head. Quacker, time frames, smizzle, frames, whatever. Just tell them an artist is finished when he's finished. Never late, never early. Well, I like the Lord of the Rings reference there, but I'm not sure Hobby House would be all that happy with me if I just decided to take as long as I wanted. We've set a bit of a time frame to get this done, so I think I should stick to it. Plus, I want the opportunity for you guys to be able to play on this table, you know? And when we launch the event, I would like the opportunity to meet some of you guys in real life. For those of you who may be able to work your way down to Hobby House in Southampton. Okay, okie dokie. So, finally, Finally, he says. Wait, no, ignore that finally. Ignore it. Let me just dab that bit in there. Bear with me. Alex, show me an Annie Lennox 80s picture and I can't put two words together properly. Yeah, but I don't have anything like that to distract me. I'm just mincing my words this evening, and there's no good reason for it. I have no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. Cool, look. Well, technically my chapter isn't really heresy. Oh, they're neutral except against Tyranids. They absolutely hate Tyranids. They want them gone, do they? I mean, who likes Tyranids? I don't think anyone has appeared in this live stream yet who's been like, I absolutely love Tyranids. They just eat everything. They're just hungry bugs. That's all they are, is a bunch of hungry bugs. Okay, I guarantee you we are pretty much there now. I guarantee you. Yes. Okay. So, what we are going to do now is some dry brushing, I think. This is kind of my favourite part, the dry brushing part, just because it helps... wait, is it going to be dry brushing, or do I need to... It's not. I need to paint some Xandri dust. Jock! What's up, fellow sprucers? What is up, Jock? How are we doing? Welcome to the stream. We are full steam ahead with this little side project here. Should I say this big side project? Things are moving forward. Cool, look. Yep, since one Hive Tyrant nearly killed their chaplain. They've got a bit of a rivalry going on, cool, look. Luke Thompson, I love purging Tyranids on Space Marine 2. Well, that's acceptable, Luke. That is absolutely acceptable. Purging them is fine. Playing as them is a no-no. Big Brain. I like the monster aesthetic of the bugs. Yeah, I mean, they look cool. They look cool, but they are just hungry bugs. I am Dungeon Keeper in Discord. Yes, you are, Chris. I need to make you a Dungeon Keeper. I do. I need my moderator. Yeah, so I've already mentioned this in the stream, but for those of you who have recently arrived, there is a Discord now. So if you want to join the Discord and share what you're working on and just kind of keep up to date, feel free to click the link that is in the description of this live stream. And welcome to our little Warhammer dungeon. I haven't checked yet, but I think there's probably, well, I'd say there's about 8 of us now if I was going to take a guess. So it's still a small group. But feel free to come and look at what we're all doing. And I'll show you guys some, I will show you guys some pictures of this crashed Aquila lander. And see what you make of it. This has been really fun to paint though, I cannot lie about that. I would recommend, if you ever fancy painting a piece of terrain, and you have one of these, or you can get your hands on one of these, it is good fun. I think I've also enjoyed it more because I've been using my airbrush. So, Gallery actually sent me an airbrush to test out, and I'll be honest, I'm always dubious when people send me a message and they're like, oh, can we send you something and tell us what you think. But it turned up, and I did like it. I could use it straight out of the box, and I got on quite well with it. So yeah, I'm going to be using that a lot more now, and it helped me get the kind of like two-tone effect, which is much harder to get with a brush. Obviously you can achieve it with a brush if you want to, it just requires a lot more effort. Like with this, I had it painted in about 10 minutes, so I had the two-tone effect done. Big Brain, I have my printer and PLA for terrain. It's very handy. It might be something I explore at some stage. It's just not really having space for a printer at the moment. If you guys could see all around this studio space, you would see that there is like no space left for anything now. Now that we've got this little project on the go, there's not much space for anything else. I need to expand. We need to expand the operation, guys. I think the only dangerous thing about me expanding, so if I ever had the opportunity to work in even more space, I would worry because I would just want to build bigger and bigger things. And I feel like that's kind of a dangerous thing for me. Is like, how can I make what's supposed to be 28mm heroic, how can I make that massive? Cool, look, I post models on my posts. Well, if you want to join Cool Look, if you want to join our little Discord, feel free, because you can post pictures in there. Jock, the Space Dwarf looks cool AF, mate. The Space Dwarf. Who's done a Space Dwarf? Who's painting Space Dwarves? I need to go and have a look. I'm going to have a little look after stream. I feel like there's going to be a few things waiting for me after the stream. Also, for those of you who don't know, I've got proper streaming days now. So Wednesday, Friday and Sunday are all streaming days. So if you enjoy these, those are the days you are going to want to tune in. I'm just setting it as my kind of schedule, because it just means I can work out everything else around it. And it lets you guys know when I'm, streaming, instead of just doing it randomly. Cool Look, I ain't allowed Discord. That's fair enough, Cool Look. That is understandable. Quokka, the Leagues of Votan. That's what I was guessing, unless it's like old school squats or the Prospectors from Necromunda. Luke Thompson, Nihilus in 2085. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 1/1 scale Warlord Titan. Or 1/1 scale Hive. Do you know what? It might not get that bad, Luke, but it would definitely get pretty, pretty out of hand quickly, I reckon. So it's probably good that I've got to work in my confines here. I say confines, I've got like a fair bit of space. Confines. Chris, I will take a look after the stream, Chris. I'll have a look at what you've been up to. Cool Look, but my mate can join it and send my model pics. Absolutely, Cool Look. Just let him tag, well, just say that they're yours, basically, and I'll take a look. I will take a look. So what I'm just doing here, I probably didn't say, I just got stuck into it, is when I airbrushed the wings for the Aquila lander, I kind of overshot some of it, so I did mask a bunch off. But when I put my Xandri dust on, it didn't get all the area. I'm gonna leave, guys. I'm gonna leave. It didn't mask all the areas correctly. So I've just got to come back in with this Xandri dust. It's so funny that I called this stream the crashing out stream, because I think I'm going to crash out. So yeah, I'm just kind of like correcting all this blue. Just tying it in a bit better. And then I will come back in with a dry brush. Quokka, well, I think I'll head to bed. Thank you for stopping by, Quokka. Hopefully we will see you again soon. And sleep well. Take it easy. Another thing that this has made me think about recently is trusting the process. So when I started dry brushing the earth sections and all the gravel on the bottom of these wings, I started out and I was worried because I put the brush on there, you know, dry brushed a little area, and I really didn't like the way it was looking. And I was worried that I've put all this effort in and then the dry brush is going to look absolutely crap. But with a bit of persistence and just trusting the process, it's actually come out very nice. And also, it'll look better once the pigment's on there. So yeah, if there's any reason to trust the process, sorry, it's yeah, if you're not feeling comfortable about the paint job, basically just give it a little bit longer and see how it looks, and you know, trust the way it's going, trust that it'll come together. Good night. Yes, I'll be back. Good night, Quokka. Thank you again. we got Arnie in the chat here. What was that? Arnold345, was it? I'll be back. I think it was Arnold. Okay. Looking good. So, hopefully that won't take too long to dry, and then we can just get stuck in with a wash. So on top of the Xandri dust for the bottom of this Aquila, I've been using Seraphim Sepia. It looks really good. It looks kind of, it reminds me of the John Blanche Templar art that I'm kind of looking at off screen. It just reminds me of that kind of like sandy, the sandy colour with like the reddy orange underneath. Yeah, it looks quite good. But we just need this to dry before we apply it. I think while that dries, in fact, I'll put that to one side and we can do the Xandri dust on this bigger section as well. The aim is to have like a couple of focal points around this build. So this will be one of them. And then we will have the Nomads settler camp as well. And then probably a load of scrap. I've got a few like piles of scrap from the old orc scenery, so I think we'll use that as well. Big Brain, I use Seraphim Sepia on my Eldar. It's a good colour, Big Brain. It is a very good colour. That Orange Banana, I would love to hit the like button more, but YouTube is being mean and only letting me like this video once. Ah, thank you, That Orange Banana. I appreciate it. I do forget to say sometimes, although Chris, my mod is quite good at putting it in the comments. But yeah, like if you like the video, or if you're enjoying me make an absolute ass out of myself, putting a like on the video does help. It helps YouTube know that people are enjoying it, as poorly organised and poorly worded as it may be. And if you really, really like it, like you really, really, really like it, you can always consider changing your name to a green name, because it helps me to be able to do more of these, basically. It allows me the time and resources, basically. So, that is always appreciated too, but it is not mandatory and it is not expected. Definitely going to have awful posture in the morning after the way I've been painting this all evening. Definitely. But what have I missed here? Cool Look, I need help with terrain on base plates. What do you mean by that, Cool Look? Is that for the new, do you play? Is that for the new system? Because I know absolutely nothing about the new scenery and how the rules work for it, and what plates they're supposed to be on. Not a clue. Mackenzie, hi, it's Cool Looks, plays friend. Hello, Mackenzie. I think Cool Look was on about putting some pictures of his 1,000 Suns in the Discord, so feel free to do that if you so choose. Yeah. Okay, where was I? Losing my place. Too much going through the old brain. Thing is, you can probably see my brain processing stuff in real time on these streams. You can see the cogs literally turning. Big Brain, what benefits does becoming a member come with? Well, it says on the tier sheet there, Big Brain. So, some of the memberships come with being able to name a custodian after yourself, which you already have done, Big Brain, a broken one. There are some other benefits for higher tiers. You are also supporting me do these and create and live stream, basically. It also lets people know you're not a heretic, because I feel like green names are 90% less likely to be heretics. So, also works for that. Big Brain, it's for the ad. I appreciate it, Big Brain. I appreciate it. I know what you were doing there. I did catch on. I'm gonna sneeze. Whew! Ah. Dear me. Big Brain, a moving gate, we need it. Well, Big Brain's getting a moving gate. Further down the line, that gate will be moving. Maybe just in time for us to get a Warhound to walk through it. But do you know what's not going to happen? Do you know what? I've just thought of the next thing, right? We'll get a Warhound Titan, and then Big Brain will be like, how much to get it to move? And I'll just say no and shut up shop. Big Brain likes to make my hobby more of a challenge than it is. He does. He was like, you know that guy who makes the Golden Throne? I want him to put in more effort to make this gate move. And all it took was 100 channel subscribers. And that was it. And you know what? I didn't think he'd bite. I didn't think he'd go for it. I thought Big Brain isn't going to go for this. But he did. He did. And now I gotta get it moving. Big Brain, I think that moving... I think that moving is a one-time offer. I think so too, Big Brain. I don't think we can get anything else to move. I think the gate is enough. You know, we don't really need a walking titan. But I feel like there's probably someone out there that could make a walking titan. Bless you. I have hay fever. Don't have pigment near you when you sneeze. That is a good idea. That is a good idea not to have it anywhere near me. I didn't even think about that. And I suffer with hay fever too. I've also been using, well, I've been using liquid pigment, so that's alright. But when I go to using the powdered stuff, maybe I'll have to be a little bit more careful. Otherwise, everything in this studio is going to get a dusting. I found as well that I don't like using pigment fixer with my pigments. I like just smashing them into whatever I'm working on. Because I find like every time I use fixer, it dulls the way that the pigment looks. And the only way I seem to be happy using it is when it's just raw. Granted, it'll rub off. You know, if you were really grabbing your scenery and handling it all the time, it will rub off. But I do find that it looks the best. So I'm gonna have to come up with a kind of like happy medium potentially for this build, because obviously it will be it will be served as a... Do you know what? I'm done. Oh, it will be serving as a gaming table. Oh my god. So I think I'm going to need to lock the pigment down with something, but I just want to find a good way to do it that doesn't dull it down too much. Don't know if anyone has any recommendations for that, because I still haven't really come across a method that works. So I'm always happy to hear what people have to say in that department. Pick out some of the dust parts on this wreckage. Do you know what I think I might work on next, actually? Is I think I might have a little go at the landing pad, because Hobby House gave me a landing pad to paint up and use in this gaming table. And I've always wanted to paint one as well, I just never had the chance to buy one. So, this will be my chance to paint one up. And I think I'm going to give it airbrush hazard stripes as well. Ah, Fragai, isopropyl alcohol. I'll give that a shot, Fragai. It's just annoying kind of not getting it to look as good as it does when it's just slapped on there with nothing on top of it. Jock, wife's calling, gotta go. Thank you for swinging by, Jock. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. We definitely got off to a quieter start this evening, I found. But things picked up a little bit. Also managed to get a fair bit done, which is nice. I am finding these streams to be more and more productive in terms of what I get done. I feel like when I first started out doing these, I wasn't able to concentrate as much on what I was actually doing, but I'm finding now that it's kind of a happy medium now, which is good. Cool, look, I just had to repaint my model black again. Used too much gold. That's unfortunate, cool, look. I'm guessing you, I'm guessing it was still quite light though, if you managed to give it another coat. Hopefully it's looking the part now. I feel like at times it can be temperamental if you're using spray cans. Especially if you're, well, in the UK at the moment it's warm, so spray cans tend to be a bit temperamental in this weather. I definitely learned that the hard way. I've had to undercoat everything when it cools down because the sun just... I think it dries it as it fires it out the can. It dries the paint and it just kind of cakes it on. So yeah, we had a few mishaps with that. The worst, actually, the thing that has annoyed me the most recently is I tried to use Munitorum varnish, and that stuff is the most temperamental. If you don't shake the can enough, if it's too cold, too warm, too dry, too wet, it doesn't work. And the problem is, if you slap that on a miniature after you've spent hours painting it, and it dries frosty, you're in trouble. Because you have to try and, you know, recoat it again with another varnish, or try again at a different temperature with the Munitorum varnish, or yeah, it just kind of messes up your models. Oh, you're not using spray cans? That's even better, cool, look. Luke Thompson working on Blade Guard veteran shields at the moment. Oh, Blade Guard veterans. They are very cool looking Space Marines, Blade Guard veterans. One of the newer additions with, well, maybe not so new now, but when they first came out with Primaris, I thought they looked really cool. And I feel like Primaris is getting cooler because they're giving them all a bit more personality now. That, and they're also kind of, I don't want to say backstepping, but they're exploring the previous marks of armor and kind of mixing them up with Primaris. So like, what was it, Mark 7 helmets I've seen? I don't know if it's Mark 7 actually, but I've definitely seen like older pieces of armor kind of mixed in with Primaris now. Cool, look, I'm just painting. It's good to see that a few of you are doing the same thing as me. It's not just me sat here painting. I like to think of these as like little hobby hangouts, basically. Obviously, not everyone has to work on stuff. You can just listen if you want to. But I do like to think of them as like little hobby hangouts. Alex, you get more work done with this stream's shenanigans. I do, Alex. I absolutely do. Because I've spent, well, what have I spent today? So before I started streaming, I probably spent about 5 hours, I think, today painting. So it's nice to do that extra bit. And also, when I come back from work and I haven't had the chance to do any painting, it kind of encourages me, you know? So I do enjoy them. Even when I am messing up my words 50% of the time, I still enjoy them. Big Brain, I love how my apartment is always the perfect temperature and I don't need any climate control. Well, that's perfect, Big Brain. We'll all come around yours to undercoat stuff. Is that okay? Sounds like it could be really handy. The air temperature in here, on the other side of things, is not always great. The problem with my studio space is that it's not very good. So it's great at holding the heat, but it also, in the winter, sorry, there's me concentrating again. Also in the winter, it gets really cold in here. So I have to have a heater going. So there's a bit of a pain. In the summer it's roasting, and then in the winter it's absolutely freezing, and I'm sat here with my fingerless gloves and my heater going. So you might see that if we're still live streaming by Christmas and by winter, you guys are going to see it. You see me sat with my little gloves and the heater going in the background. Big Brain, Gjovik? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Gjovik is not that good of a tourist destination. Ah, but it sounds like you've got... What's the climate like in Gjovik? To be honest, I've not heard of Gjovik before. But then again, I'm not exactly the most travelled person, so that checks out. Luke Thompson, for the whole month of Christmas, the Emperor needs to have a green stuffed Santa hat. I think we could sort him out with a Santa hat, Luke. I think that would be something we could do. A few Christmases ago, actually, I made use of some of the red Christmas lights to light up the throne room. In a kind of like... What did I call it? I called it like low power mode for the throne, and it did look kind of cool. It kind of looked like... everything was failing, you know, lots of red lights. Let's see, in Denmark it's only 16 degrees at 11 at night, but the air is still and moist. I'm not sure what it is here actually at the moment. It still feels quite warm. We're still kind of coming off the tail end of this like heat wave. So it's still not like perfect weather to hobby in. I find that if I have a day to work on this project and work on my hobby stuff, I tend to get like the most done in the morning, because midday and after midday it's just heated up too much basically. And even now it does feel, it's like a little bit uncomfortable basically. It's not impossible to work in, it's certainly not as bad as the other week when sweat was dripping off me. So it's much more serviceable than that, but it's still a little bit uncomfortable. It is warm, somewhat humid. Ah, it's the same here. It is the same here, Big Brain. Okay. Oh my god, and it's 10 past 10 already. When did that happen? Honestly, every time I'm doing these streams, the time just flies by. I don't know how you guys feel watching them. I don't know whether you feel like time goes slower, but it's definitely speeds up for me here. Cool beans, Cool Lick. Thank you for joining us this evening. Feel free to come back in the future if you enjoy the streams. Take it easy. Right, I think we're just going to get this last little bit done, and then I think we're going to wrap it up for this evening, because it's 10 past 10, and your boy's got to be up early in the morning. He'll be working in the hot sun tomorrow. You're working outside in the hot sun. Not really what I want to do, but hey, here we are. Luke Thompson, Nihilist, do you get to play many games, and have you played a game of 11th yet? Oh, Luke, you must have missed the few occasions now, I think it's been, where I have mentioned I don't play at all. I haven't played a game of Warhammer since 3rd edition, when I was like 11 years old. Was I even 11? I might have been younger than that. Yeah, so thing is, Luke, I'm not really too fussed about playing the game. I just like building and painting and lots of the lore elements of the hobby. I just don't think I'd have the time, if I'm honest with you. Plus, besides you guys, I don't really have anyone nearby that is into Warhammer. I mean, obviously I could join a club, you know, there's all that other stuff going on, but I don't really have any close friends who are into Warhammer. I have one who's got like a kind of passing interest, I guess. He quite likes the lore. But yeah, so those things just kind of stack up, and I don't really bother. Big Brain, can I send a progress report? Oh, you can, Big Brain. You can absolutely send a progress report. Feel free to drop it in the Discord, and I will take a look. It's been a productive painting session for you as well then, Big Brain. Alex, it's just a question of time. Just DM fan. Well, just a question of time. Just a question of time before I get into playing, is that, Alex? Because I feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like I've been back for 5 years. No? Longer now? What are we? I always get this mixed up. So I feel like I really threw myself back into the hobby in like lockdown in 2020. So 6 years and I haven't played a game yet. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I like your optimism though, Alex. I dig your optimism. I'll never say never, but I just don't think that with my other responsibilities outside of the hobby and outside of like YouTubing and stuff, I don't think I'd have the time. I honestly don't think I'd have the time. Need a little bit more paint. And the thing is, I'm sure I would enjoy it. I'm sure I would enjoy like a couple of games of Warhammer. But I feel like my heart is always going to be in building and painting and converting and listening to lore, basically. Oh, nope, how the time flies. Ah, I see. I got lost there, Alex. Yes. Yes, indeed. Never played a game myself. Fair enough. So I'm not the only one. I am not the only one. That's always, it always kind of reassures me, you know? Because I feel like a lot of people in this hobby play one of the games, you know? So a lot of people that I follow who paint Necromunda, they all play Necromunda. Whereas anytime I paint something that is to do with Necromunda, you know, well, I haven't been asked many times, but I would tell people that I don't play. I just really like painting and I really like the lore and history behind Necromunda. Chris, I played 2nd edition 40k, Necromunda, Kill Team, Warhammer Old School. God, you got them all, Chris. You go for it. Truth be told, if I was going to play, I'd probably go for a smaller game like Kill Team or Necromunda. I feel like Necromunda is probably the one that appeals to me the most. So that's probably what I would end up playing if I was going to play. And then second to that, probably Kill Team, because I could paint up a little Kill Team. I feel like that would be doable for me. You know, much more doable than painting up a whole Space Marine army. So, that's probably what I would go for, to be fair. Alright, so I'm just going to do this bit here, and then I think I'm going to wrap it up. But, as always, if you have enjoyed the stream this evening, please leave a like. If you enjoyed it more than everyone else, please consider becoming a member. We got the Discord in the description for the video. We've got all the other links as well. I got affiliate links and all that sort of stuff, all those shenanigans. And yeah, it's been nice to have you guys here for the evening, basically, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evenings. Luke Thompson, I haven't played since 9th edition, but got my first game of 11th this weekend. Well, I hope it goes well, Luke. I hope you have fun. You'll have to let me know on one of the future streams how you get on with it. Should I be playing it? The Orange Banana, have a good evening, Niles. Thank you very much, the Orange Banana. Alright, guys. Well, I'm going to head off for this evening. As I said, it's been really nice to have you guys here with me. It's nice to get stuff done. What I'm going to do immediately after ending this stream is I'm going to go on the Discord and I'm going to post some pictures of what I have painted for the Crashed Aquila lander, so you guys can take a good look. And yeah, other than that, I will be streaming again on Friday for those of you who fancy dropping by for that. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and I'll speak to you all soon. Big Brain, I haven't played since 10th. Fair enough, Big Brain. Alright guys, you're all awesome. Thank you very much. I will see you guys in the next stream. Bye-bye.